Well, getting back to what I said earlier, as I said, I was always a big fan of athletics, especially track and field. And as I say, I don't know what sort of shape it's in now, but I know in the late 70s, early 80s, you know, Britain and Ireland ruled the world in middle distance running. You know, Eamon Coughlin, John Tracy, great for Ireland. I think Coughlin won a silver. Was it 5,000?
I think he was world champion at the 5,000.
And Muircroft and
I think so.
Brendan Foster. It was terrific, and they inspired me. As I say, I watched the recent Olympics, and apart from really Usain Bolt, who was incredible, it didn't seem to be. It didn't seem to have the characters or the big names.
No, I think what's happened now with the athletics is too. The Africans have just they've dominated the distance races so much now that a lot of the young up and coming English, British, Irish guys, they're going to say, I'm not going to be able to compete with these guys. You know,
right.
They're just at another. They've raised the bar so high. It's
right.
so difficult.
Well, what happened then? I mean, why will it not really prevalent whenever the likes of Cohen over ruled the world? I mean, they were unbeatable.
I don't think they probably got the opportunities they have now. The world's a smaller place, it seems now.
Right.
It just, there's so many agents out there.
Well, the rivalry between Cohen over was incredible. I mean, I think they only raced 3 times. I'm pretty sure they raced in the 1978 Europeans, and the hype and hysteria then was even fantastic. The two of them were the best in the world. And in the Europeans, this was the first head-to-head. And they were watching out for each other that much in the race. A German come up between the two of them. I think it was from East Germany.
Yeah, I remember.
Beat the two of them.
I remember that.
He
actually failed the drugs test later, I think.
Is that
or right? It wasn't that he failed it. The Stasi, you know, the fails of the East German police that he had been on banned substances.
And then, of course, the Moscow Olympics in 1980, where Coe, who was virtually unbeatable at 800 metres, overbeat him. Overbeat Coe in Coe's strong event. And then Coe turned the trick and beat over it in the 1500,
right.
which was his strong event.
I was a kid,
I think that's only 3 times he ever raced against each other. Pity they never raced a mile.
No.
The Golden Mile maybe in Oslo, but I know in 81 they were breaking world records.
But that was a good thing, and the athletics were always on TV, you know, BBC or ITV had them, and I think every Friday night, wasn't it, the summertime, you got athletics on?
Yeah, you'd only 3 channels then.
You know, and
everybody seemed to be much bigger.
Whereas now you have Sky and all these things, a lot of people don't see them because they're on Sky or whatever.
And then you can fall into that trap of looking back with nostalgia, thinking everything was always better, but it's because you were younger. But the likes of Connors, McEnroe with a tennis board.
Well, you do.
Higgins with a snooker.
You do, that's right, Higgins.
Footballers doing best. And maybe that's just a trap. Maybe, you know.
I think it was like when you were a kid, when the tennis come on, you got the racket out. When the football was on, you got the football.
Oh, you did indeed, aye. Well, I was always a wee bit of a fantasist anyway, but I remember my granny lived in Butler Street and we lived in Fairfield Street.
Yeah.
And as I was coming home from my granny's, I always set myself up in this imaginary race where I was racing Cohen over it, and I was doing the commentary, you know, David Coleman.
Yeah.
I was doing it, and it's Eamon McAuley, followed by Sebastian. Did you ever do anything like that?
You do, yep, you do. And I was actually always in. I loved the old horse racing. I loved steeple chasing.
Right.
And that was one of my big ambitions. I'd love to have rid the winner of the Gold Cup.
Did you ever play against the Gable Wall?
Handball and tennis. Yep.
You know?
The summertime in Old Lardon, it was, you know, that's what you did. You got the old wooden racket out.
Right.
And then you had the handball. You went through different periods of things.
Seasons. There was caterpillar season. There was handball season.
Right.
And then you had. The men seemed to be card schools in every street corner.
That's correct.
And you know, they were playing handball up against the wall. Kids playing street games.
The occasional brawl.
That camaraderie and intimacy, community spirit seems to be sadly lacking now, unfortunately.
Yeah, it is.
That bond.
I think the Troubles brought that together, you know, that's... Because you didn't know why you were going to be here.
It was great camaraderie, you know, people borrowing sugar and milk. And
that's right, yeah. The doors were all opened, and you could...
Yeah.
You know, you could have left that door open. You know.
Do you still run today? Do you still keep fit?
I'm still getting out. It's the old age thing. Your muscles are getting sore and it's getting harder, I feel. And
as you're getting older, you're picking up niggly.
Yeah, but it's a great thing for relaxation, and you know, if you've any problems to clear them over time. And I find it's a great way to relax and get the tension out of my system. I love getting up to Belfast Castle or over the mountain or even Ballysullen playing fields at times. It's good. A real clearing your head, and it's like a an uplifting feeling.
Oh, it is indeed. I can relate to that. And
Yeah,
I
you know,
do a
you
lot
do
of
it.
walking,
You
I
do
do a
it.
lot
You
of
did
running.
it.
I've hurt
I
my
used to.
Achilles.
I used to see you out running.
Nowhere
too,
near
sure.
your league, but I
Yeah.
mean, I love it. It's very good. It clears the mind,
It's hard to get.
physically, mentally, and as I say, sometimes I pray going around the waterworks. So spiritually,
Yeah.
it's fantastic, and I can come home and get a mug of tea.
But it's hard to get those feelings back when you were younger. Like you with the boxing, that ABA title. I remember when you won that. Like,
That was 85.
85. You were saying it was 10 million. Was it? It was a big deal then. I
On
remember you were
TV,
you were a
10,000,
legend around the
yeah,
area. Like,
yeah.
but it's them feelings you get with competing and you're winning and things. There's nothing actually. I don't think comes close to
Right.
those feelings. You know.
I forgot to mention, I seen Steve Ovett running in Crystal Palace in 1883.
Yes.
We used to go down with a young England squad. Even though I'd never no intention of boxing for England, I still went down because I got top quality sparring.
Yeah.
And Crystal Palace was amazing, and to see one of my heroes, Steve Ovett.
That was the big place then. That was the Wembley of athletics,
Yeah,
Crystal Palace.
absolutely.
So it was, but they were
So
big.
what do
mates.
you envisage now for Irish athletics for these 2012 Olympics and for British athletics in general? You know,
It's hard to say. I actually.
well, that's what I'm saying. Why did we once dominate the world in middle distance running, and we're nowhere now?
As I say, I think the big thing is the athletics, or the Africans in the athletics. They've just smashed every record. Gabriel Selassie and
Brilliant. Remember
Aquila.
Yifter, the shifter?
yeah, Yifter the show. He would be our day, like you know,
Aye.
Yifter and you know, Ferrin and them boys.
Lassie Ferrin, Finnish
Ferrin.
guy, won nothing, but he won the Olympics.
Wee bit.
And then 4 years, he never won an hour race until 4 years later he
That's
won
a
the
bit
Olympics again.
suspect.
Yeah.
They were on about blood doping and along those quarters, but I don't know if we never tested him for him. But he was. It's strange to do that, like you know,
Right,
not win a race for 4 years. And
right. So are you still running now at the minute? I haven't seen you. I used to see you out regularly,
Yeah.
but I haven't seen you out in quite a while.
get out most days. You need to get out. I think you need something to get out, just to get out even the district. And
And Eddie can't get out now. Eddie had a stroke. Was it Barcelona he was in?
he was in Spain somewhere,
Spain,
and
he had a
he
stroke.
was over with a couple of the old fellas out of the club.
And that's put him out of running.
That's
and
him.
he,
He's
of course,
walking now, like you know, but
I see him
he
out
just has to
walking
take
all
it
the
easy. It's like everything else, same and I think, and you're getting on a wee bit at times yourself, and you have to realise you can't do the things you did when you were younger.
Yes.
And if you do, you just have problems. You
Uh-huh.
just break down.
Well, my philosophy is now I'm starting to put the work in for the future, for when I don't want to be half dead at 60, 65,
No,
70.
neither do I.
I mean, my uncle Tommy Monaghan's 80 and he works out every day. I want, I don't want to be on home. I mean, I
No,
want to. So
no.
you need to put the work in now.
Well,
And keep doing it.
That's the like of all that. The basis of all sport is running, and really your quality of life, if you do that, is better,
Yeah.
far better. You know,
Did you ever do the weights? Did you?
I did. I messed about them when I packed the competitive running. I did get very fit with them, and you know the lean muscle tissue was good and things. But I had trouble with the lower back, and really it was affecting me. So I couldn't do them. You know.
Right.
But it's a real good sport to get a good feel about yourself.
And where do you live now, John? Are you still in the old Ireland?
I'm
Is it
still
sort of
well,
new
well,
Ireland now?
well, it is the old sort of way it would be built where Old Ardwine is,
Right.
Herbert Street there, you know. But
Just a pity they didn't build it the way it was. Oakfield
Aye.
Street, Fairfield Street.
I know that's at the old
Yeah.
the old alleyways and things,
Aye.
and the Devil's Entry and things,
That's
Chatham
it.
Street.
So what do you work at now?
I'm
You
in the
postman? Used to
I'm
be a
in
postman?
I'm in the post office still.
Right,
Yep.
still?
Handy job, good job.
Right.
Good to work for, very good.
Any children?
No kids, no.
Right.
But you know, things are good at the minute, so I'm enjoying the job and things.
But it's dead easy to get into your rut, but it's easy to get into your routine. When you're in the routine and running,
That's
it's
it.
easy, but you can fall into your rut, and I make sure I
Can,
don't, because
yeah.
it pulls you in. So I try to keep myself active. If I can't run, which I can't at the minute because of this Achilles, I'm out walking.
Yeah, it's just a pity a lot of young people in the area don't get into things. They got boxing or they're running. You know, see them hanging around the shops there, and
Right, I know.
you know, getting into all sorts. You know, and
Yes.
it's sad. Like
Well, have more opportunities than what we did when we were
it
young.
did, of course it did. I mean, we had basically nothing but the youth
Mhm.
clubs and things, but there wasn't a lot going on. Like you had a
Right.
football, and that was it.
Our street games, Rallyo and
Rallyo, that's
cricket
right.
and,
Jesus, Rallyo, my bad.
Kissy Chase. And
Mm.
But Johnny, the reason I love doing these wee interviews is to give people a wee bit of recognition who I feel never got the recognition that they deserved. John, thanks very much for coming
Okay,
here
man.
today to
Thanks a
speak
lot,
to me.
mate.
I really, really
Brilliant,
appreciate
mate.
it.
Good
God
to
bless
speak to you.
Thank
Thanks a lot, mate.